Hey everybody, Mike Hagen here. I want to talk to you about the shutter speed settings in manual mode on Nikon cameras. As most of you know, Nikon cameras have shutter speeds ranging from 30 seconds all the way up to maybe a 4,000th of a second or an 8,000th of a second. Now if you look at the back of your camera, maybe on your info screen, or if you look up here on the LCD panel, you'll be able to see what shutter speed you're shooting at. In this case, I'm showing 4,000, which means 1/4,000th of a second. Now this is a Nikon D800 and it will shoot up to an 8,000th of a second. So again, you'll see the number 8,000, again meaning 1/8,000th of a second. Now as you move your shutter speed down, slower, you'll see numbers like 100. That means 1/100th of a second. And then as you get down to 1, the number 1, you'll see that the shutter speed now is indicated with a quote mark. That quote mark means seconds. So 1 with a quote mark means 1 second. Now as I move past 1 second, I go to 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10, and then 30 seconds. Now 30 seconds is the longest shutter speed that the camera will shoot at in automatic mode, or the longest time shutter speed, I'll say. Now if I go 1 past 30 seconds, that's where a lot of the confusion comes in, because there are at least 2 more shutter speed options, and on some cameras there's 3 more. So I'll start with this one. This one's called bulb. And what bulb does is bulb allows you to shoot a photo for as long as you keep your shutter release button pressed down. Maybe star trail photography or maybe firework photography. Those are good places to shoot bulb. Typically though, if you're shooting bulb, you shouldn't be pushing your shutter speed. Rather, you should be using a cable release that'll be plugged in right here. The cable release plugs in right there in the 10 pin. So again, bulb setting is as long as you decide it to be, as long as you're pressing down the shutter release. Now as we move past bulb, the next setting is X250. The X stands for Studio Sync, and it's the fastest shutter speed at which the Nikon camera will synchronize with the studio flash. So in this case, 250 means a 2/50th of a second. Now in the menu system, a lot of the Nikon cameras, this is configurable. You can go to pencil menu or custom settings menu, E1, and you set the maximum shutter speed. In the Nikon's case, this camera, the fastest shutter speed I can sync to is a 3/20th of a second. Other Nikon cameras, you can only go to a 200th of a second or a 2/50th of a second. So that's X250. Now, on some of the newest Nikon cameras, let's say for example the Nikon D7100, there's one more shutter speed setting in manual mode, and it's called time. It'll say time and then dash dash. That's a new setting for Nikon. And what that does is when you push the shutter will then stay open for 30 minutes. Not 30 seconds, but 30 minutes. That allows you to push it once, leave the camera alone for as long as you need, and then maybe at 15 minutes or 8 minutes or 12 minutes, you then push the shutter again and it will shut off. If you don't push the shutter release button after the initial press, then it will automatically shut off after 30 minutes. So there you have it. Those are the shutter speed settings in manual mode on a Nikon camera. Thanks for watching.